Well, it's a slightly unusual table with those couple of reds in bulk. So just a containing safety. But this red is going to be near to this middle pocket. That's not the best shot. Brecel is not one to turn his shots down. And in it goes. Catch the knuckle of the middle pocket. That's a mistake. The switch over between matches was very quick, and I think it was just a slight technical issue. So you may have missed the start of the commentary on this match, in which case apologies. But this is round 2 now of the Wuhan Open qualifiers. Luca Brecel and Stephen Hallworth. So Brecel, the seeded player. This is his first match. Hallworth yesterday beat the women's world champion Panchaya Chenoy 5-0, but it wasn't plain sailing, that match. It was scrappy. Highest break just 55. So hopefully all will be well now, and we will enjoy this match. And yeah, Brecel had a definite chance there, but just positionally went wrong. Stephen Hallworth was in nicely. Brecel attempted a plant. Hallworth had the balls at his mercy, but just lost ideal position on 32. Missed a red to middle. Not easy. So that's where we are, 27 in it. It's best of 9. Of course, the winner plays Zhang Anda in the last 64. That will be played here on Thursday. So that's to get to Wuhan. Of course, the top 16... they come in the last 64, but their matches are held over to Wuhan. It was actually Zhang Anda who beat Hallworth in this event last year in the opening round. That's pretty effective. He's cut off pretty much all of the reds. He may just be able to see a bit of one on the left-hand side. It's quite a dangerous table, though. These reds pretty much all available. Mahmoud El Haridi of Egypt has won the first frame against Yu Yichen. That's actually round 1. This is a match in round 2. Most of the matches this afternoon were round 2. Michael Holt the first against Leon Crowley. As I say, a dangerous table. Black, not really available though. Pink down the bulk end as well doesn't really help. Yeah, so the red to right corner, he doesn't see any future in, but just purely use no position. So, didn't turn much down Brecel, but he weighed at the percentages there, didn't fancy it. But that's not really worked out, that red on the left-hand side. Now again, Question of whether Hallworth fancies it. The blue would be available to right middle. So, take this on. Not to be. The blacks become free now. Daniel Wells opening frame against Sahil Nair, representing Canada. Birthday boy Oliver Lyons, 31 today. First frame still against Jordan Brown. And then can Brecel get in here? No. So it's a bit of an uncertain start, this, for both players. Been fortunate there. He's not left that red. Well, it doesn't look like he has. To the green bag. That shot was all about the cue ball. Obviously the red travelling, but he got the cue ball where he wanted it. Brecel now looking to lay up to these two reds just off the top cushion. So a bit cagey, but of course they've had a couple of chances already. Both gone wrong pretty quick. Played that with a good degree of safety in mind. Cue ball into bulk. He would have been on the pink had the red gone in. Will Brecel be on the pink? Cue ball needs to slow up. Needs to slow up. Ah, frustrating. Just kept running. We know these are quick tables, slick cloths and all of that. But it does sort of sum up how this first frame has gone so far. Again, ideally, I suppose he'd like to play up to those 2 reds Brecel did, but much harder, tight to the pink. So he's taking a bit of thinking about this shot. So many reds available. So this is dangerous territory for Stephen Hallworth. Well, look at Brecel. Because just a slightly different cannon to that red. He would have left the red to right corner. He got away with it. Really a bit hot under the collar. Brecel sort of half saw the funny side. The safety battle continues. Quite a handy little flick off the brown as well. Yeah. Again, Brecel has noted that one. He's logged that one. Just a little flick. He sent that cue ball in behind the pink. It wouldn't have gone there but for that kiss on the brown. It's made this more difficult than it could have been. I think snooker players in general, if you ask them to list all the running their opponent had, they could list every shot. If you say, OK, list the luck you've had, they sort of have collective amnesia. Not so easy to recall. It's all just part of the heady brew of a game of snooker. And let's be honest, it is, after all, a game. Now then, this red looks like it's on. So that little flick off the brown that Hallworth got in behind the pink has definitely assisted him here in getting a second chance. Made 32 from his first. Leads by 26. What can he do with this opening? So he's had a little bit of luck, but equally, Brecel had a chance earlier, and it went wrong almost immediately. Played a poor positional shot, caught the jaws of the right middle pocket. So he did have a scoring opportunity. And then Hallworth looking at the scoreboard because he's kind of running out of loose reds, but he's got a useful lead here, 50 with the black. A couple more reds and colours should be sufficient. So the 2 in open play is what he needs here. Yeah, so this black and Luca Brecel requires snookers. Well, he's literally on the red, but not to pot it. Not quite touching, but, well, it's 2 snookers needed, so he's still in good shape here, but obviously annoyed not to definitively kill the frame off. Just checking it's not touching. Brecel might not be renowned for his sort of tactical game necessarily, but it doesn't mean he can't play that side of the game. But this is going to be close to that pink again. What Hallworth doesn't want is for Brecel to pot 3 reds, get them off the table, play for the snooker on the last red. So he'd love to knock this in and in the frame once and for all. I'm talking about the red on the left-hand side of the table. Ooh. A bit wild. But again, he won't mind. I mean, he's tying up colours. Green isn't great, is it? And, you know, the colours down there not great. So the cards are being held by Stephen Hallworth here. Not just the lead he's got, but kind of where the balls have gone. And that's not a snooker. Well, he caught it very thin, but anyway, no damage done. One of those frames now, if Hallworth lost this, even though it's only frame 1, it would be actually a really big blow. Not least because, of course, he had the good scoring chance initially. Blue, green and brown, you know, not not too friendly up there. But I guess, in terms of making some sort of clearance, that is. But I guess, you know, they could be well placed for a snooker. Must be on the black here, otherwise there's no way back in this frame. Seems he is, or is he? Well, he's having a good look. Must be tight. Well, there's the answer to that. Both reds and not the black. So concedes the frame, and it is Stephen Hallworth, who made breaks of 32 and 40, who claims first blood here. Remember, it's best of 9, first to 5 to take on Zhang Anda in the final round of qualifying, the last 64 for Wuhan. It's a little confusing because I say final round of qualifying, it's actually really the first round proper because the top 16 are seeded through to it, to the venue. So the top 32 actually come in the last 64, but the 17 to 32 ranked players play here in Leicester. The top 16 play in Wuhan. That's in August 23rd to the 29th. Just to look at the other scores, Rhian Evans, the 12 times women's world champion, has taken the opening frame against Artem Zhuzhin of Latvia. A 54 break there from Evans. Mahmoud El Haridi is 2-0 up on Shu Yichen. He's 104 break in the second frame. Now, those two matches are actually in round one because, of course, we had a couple of pre-round one matches just because there's wildcards in the event. So they're actually kind of playing catch-up a bit, but Mahmoud El Haridi, a century. It's only the third he's actually had on the World Snooker Tour. Daniel Wells going well, 2-0 up on Sahal Nahir. He's had a century as well, 100 and also a 71. Oliver Lyons on his 31st birthday, he's 1-0 down to Jordan Brown. Wang Jimbo has won the first frame against Scott Donaldson. Michael Holt, the opening frame against Leon Crowley. Holt had a break of 72. And Jackson Page and Gong Chengxi, that's 1-0 to Jackson Page. And a reminder, Dwayne Jones and Michal Shabarchik are coming back first available table tonight, 4-3 to Jones, and it was taken off, so they couldn't get that played in the allotted time. Not the best safety, that. He's caught the green. He needed to avoid the green. It's no real damage done, but it just makes the return safety a little bit easier for Hallworth, hand on table. Well, Will Brecel take this red on to left middle. It's one of these sort of tests of queuing shots. It's also a little bit all or nothing. But it's kind of how he plays. Well, in fact, he's taken it to the corner with safety in mind. Bit of a shot to nothing, really. If it goes in, he can roll it behind the black. Well, again, there is a red available to left middle. It's very tough. And always the players weighing up risk v reward, the percentage of the shot. What do I leave if I miss it? But is it an opportunity actually to get going? He is looking at this red. Yeah, nicely done. That's a good pot. So Stephen Hallworth in again, and so far in this match, he's definitely sort of kept Luca Brecel at arm's length. We know how devastating Brecel can be if he starts to play his natural game. He can just blast people off the table, but he's sort of been kept in the long grass here, and now Hallworth looking once again to take advantage now that this chance has come. Clearly Hallworth's overriding aim is to keep his tour card, but he doesn't just want to do that. He don't just play just to stay on the tour. He's got ambitions to start getting to the business end of tournaments, and we've seen many players down the rankings do that over the last few years, indeed win tournaments. So you see other people do it, you've got to have the belief that you can do it yourself. Going back to Jordan Brown at the Welsh Open 2021, Fang Zhengyi, European Masters the year after, of course, Leipei Fan. More recently, a couple of years ago, winning the Scottish Open. You know, players right down the ranking list. Zhang Anda, when he got to that English Open final, then won the International Championship, was down in the sort of 50s in the world. Martin O'Donnell, he got to the Welsh final. So it's been happening, and of course players see it happening and quite rightly think, well, it could happen for me. Just takes one good week. Century for our team. Zhejian, he's still going, but he's going to be 1-1 with Rhian Evans. I'll let you know what the total ends up as. As Hallworth develops a few more reds, knowing that he should be on choice of reds to 2 corners.
31.
Leon Crowley, second-year professional from the Republic of Ireland, has made an 80 break to level up with Michael Holt. Now, Hallworth still going, but just running out of loose reds as he gets all the long stuff out for this one. So could, if he can leave an angle on this black, he could get into that cluster of 5 off the black. Ooh, he hasn't potted the red, so that's not going to happen. Well, that'll annoy him because he was just keeping Brecel cold there. So that angle that Hallworth was looking for, Brecel now has got, and looking to get these 5 reds into play and really open the frame up. I think he feels it's just a bit awkward to get to the red to right corner, so he's looking at the one to middle. Well, there's this other one that cuts, it's a bit thinner. Oh, and he's overcut it. So, again, that visit didn't come to much, a bit like his initial chance in the first frame. Brecel is so good at just blowing players away. He did last time these two played. It was 5-0 6 years ago now in the European Masters 2020. But hasn't been able to take control yet. Daniel Wells against Sahil Naya, so great start for the South Walian. So Brecel looking to just clip this red in near right corner. Not so easy to control the cue ball, though, and unless he gets a kiss, well, he has. To be fair, Hallworth had a couple in the last frame, so all's fair in love and snooker. So Brecel with the chance to continue the break. He did make a century in the match against Jamie Clark. What's he played here? I'm going to say he only made 2 last season, but that has gone pretty drastically wrong to leave the white there. Caught the jaws of the yellow pocket, too much jaw. He's left himself under it for this one, but that's a good recovery. Yeah, he only made 2 centuries last season. They were both actually in the World Championship qualifying, so it was right at the end of the campaign. He didn't play as many tournaments as other players, but just seemed to have lost a lot of sharpness. Played a great match against Chang Bing-yu actually at the World qualifying, which he won 10-8, but then he lost 10-5 to Jack Jones. He wasn't close to how he played the first match. Meanwhile, he's missed the cannon here. So this is a bit of a frustrating start. Just needed to cannon one of those reds, but went past them. So now plan B is this red to right middle. Helps if you're a great potter. A bit like Judd Trump in a way. I mean, Trump's a great break ruler, of course he is, but cue ball can roam a bit, but he's just such a great recovery potter. He can keep the breaks going. So 17 behind, he will need the safe red on the left-hand side cushion. So, building up to dealing with this last red. Looking to leave an angle off the next colour to bring it off the cushion. He's not too happy with it. Just gone a little far with the cue ball here. The other thing is sometimes you get the double kiss and the red doesn't move very far. Yeah, so couldn't quite develop it. So it's all going to come down, you would feel, to this red now because everything else is on its spot pretty much. So 14 in front, Brecel, but the lead doesn't mean that much if he leaves the red on. Got near the pocket, but it looks like cover has been found. There's Jan Verhaas in the background, one of the legends from the referees group, of course now an assessor, keeping an eye on the current crop. Oh dear. Now, is this a free ball? Selakart, the referee, having a look. I think he's called free ball, so Brecel 18 in front. Can take this black as a red, then a colour as normal. The last red is near a pocket, so this should really be his frame now. No fireworks yet from Brecel, but he's dug in, he's played the safety, he's kind of done what he had to do in this frame, really. We'll need a colour off the red.
8.
So battle joined. So Luca Brecel, having got that free ball, makes the most of the chance and levels the match with Stephen Hallworth at 1-1. Remember, this is round 2 now of qualifying for the Wuhan Open, so it's effectively the last 96 round. The winner will play Zhang Anda on Thursday in the final round to get to Wuhan itself. Brecel's actually never won a match in this tournament. In fairness, he's only played in it once of the 3 stagings. That was 2024. He lost his first round match there to Jeremy Clark, but otherwise has never played in the tournament. Stephen Hallworth lost round 1, last 1-8 last year to Zhang Anda. Of course, it's been monopolised, this event, by Zhao Guodong the last 2 years. Still the only ranking event he's won, but he's won it twice. Judd Trump was the first winner in 2023. Be a big year in China. Of course, we've got the Shanghai Masters, the big invitation event, coming up end of July. China Open 8th to the 16th of August, and then there's a week's gap. Then it is Wuhan, the 23rd to the 29th. Players will be back in China. Then a few weeks later, the Xi'an Grand Prix at the end of September. It says on the calendar to be confirmed China, but I'm guessing it'll be in Xi'an. There's clues in the name. And then the International Championship is in November. World Open next year, as is the World Grand Prix in Hong Kong. So it's 1-1 as Stephen Hallworth gets frame 3 underway. Well, it's a bit of a Brecel special, isn't it, that one? Really nicely struck. This black just as big a shot, though. Well, his reaction tells us he's not on the red to left corner. There is one to right middle, but he was playing to hold for the one to left corner. Red going to hold up? Yes, it is. Good recovery. I think it's good actually to see Brecel a little animated, because there's a feeling, whether it's fair or not, there is a feeling that since winning the World Championship he's just sort of checked out a bit. You know, he hasn't been playing all the time. I know there's been a health issue, but he's got so many fans who want to see him ascend the heights again. Remember, he wasn't even at the Crucible last year, last season, just 3 years after winning the title. Had to go to qualifying, didn't make it through, and his tour card actually coming in at the start of the season. You know, he's not guaranteed. He's going to need points over the campaign to ensure it. Yeah, he wasn't great on the blue, hence he left himself a distance away, needing the rest on the red, and he's missed it. So a promising opening has come to very little again. Our team judging has gone 2-1 up now on Ryan Evans. Made breaks of 117 and 75 last two frames. Zhu Yichen, a century, 103, to pull back to 2-1 down against Mahmoud El Haridi. Remember, those matches are in round 1, the rest in round 2. He's trying to sort of bend it with a bit of side, but made no contact with the red. He caught the black. It was obviously very tight past the back. Just clipped it. Marcel is ever on the spot. So it's been put in from here. he seemed to strike that really well, but the pocket just didn't take it. That's a really good attempt. Yeah, Brecel tapping the table, appreciating that shot. Hallworth getting an excellent cue ball, good length on the safety. There's Florian Nursler in the front row. We saw him victorious last night. Of course, he represents Austria. He'll be up for tonight against Ricky Walden at 7. Our main match, by the way, at 7 will be Ryan Day against Mitchell Mann. Ryan Day, a 4 times ranking event winner. And Mitchell Mann back on through Q School. Well, what's it going to be, the 5-ball plant? He seems to be looking at something. Yes, it is the 5-ball plant. He's a little unlucky where it's finished. It's just classic Brecel, though. If he sees something like that, he'll take it on. Little sigh, though, because he's not landed nicely on a colour. It seemed very thin. It was thin. It came close to it. But he has left definitely a red to left middle. And this one seems to be available as well. So Stephen Hallworth can pick up the pieces here. And of course the plan has opened all the reds up. So it's a good scoring opportunity. The sort you look for, really. So, of course, he had one right at the start of frame 1, which only came to 32. So it's all about just trying to keep things straightforward, control that cue ball.
8. 31.
Got into the white too much there. His cue ball was finished close to side cushion, making this red far more difficult than he would have liked. That's a really good recovery. Now that'll make him feel good because he just put himself under it a little bit. He's got nicely on the blue as well. So can continue the break. Doesn't want to be straight, really. He's okay. He can just sort of roll through for the red to left corner. You'd always rather be top side. Bottom line is, if you're straight, you can only go forwards or backwards with the cue ball.
43.
So pink to lead by 20. And that means he won't need the red on the right-hand side cushion, as long as he takes big colours now. In fact, they don't even need to be that big. He's got 3 open reds to get him to the snooker's required stage. So just needs to get on the loose red, and it should be 2-1 to Hallworth, and this has been a good visit. Luca Brecel nailed the 5-ball plan, was left with that very thin pink, which just stayed out, and opened the door for Hallworth. Now this is thin as well, so this isn't in yet, but it is frame ball. So it's got to give everything to the pot here. Just needs a bit of length on the cue, I think. Danger here, though, of course, if he misses this, it's more than likely to stay very near the pocket. So it's still a stretch, even though he's got the extra length on the cue. Frame ball for 2-1. Nicely done. Second good recovery in the break, and with the extra 6 points coming up, it's surely going to be his frame. Two snookers required, so again, ideally you'd like the red in. That removes any doubt about the destination of the frame. In it goes, so this is good stuff from Hallworth. And now, chance for the century. He made one in his first match of the season against Yuan Jihao in the China Open qualifiers. Proof that he doesn't just talk a good game, he can play one as well. Oh, it's a shame, no century, but a fine 85 from Stephen Hallworth to emphatically counter-attack in frame 3 and take a 2-1 lead over 2023 world champion Luca Brecel. It's not turning into the best 31st birthday for Oliver Lyons at the moment. He's 2-0 down to Jordan Brown, although he is in the balls in the next frame. That's Page 2-0 up on Gong Chengzi, and the next frame is in the balance on the colours. It's a 3-1 Daniel Wells over Sahil Nair. 2-0 Wang Jimbo over Scott Donaldson. 2-1 Leon Crowley over Michael Holt. And in the first round, so because they're second round matches, the first round, our team Zhejian leads Ron Evans 2-1, and Mahmoud El Haridi at the interval leads Zhu Yichen 3-1. The winner there will play Stan Moody, who will have for you tomorrow, second session. The times are a bit different tomorrow. It's 10 and 4, just 2 sessions. That will apply as well on Thursday. And then there'll be a few days before, of course, the Championship League rolls into town on Monday. We've got the likes of Kyron Wilson, Mark Williams, Xiao Xingtong, Chris Wakeling, Sergio Way, top 16 players who have entered. Well, Brecel took the plant on, he got it, didn't get the pink, didn't get another shot. An 85 clearance from, well, it wasn't a clearance, but an 85 break from Stephen Hallworth did the damage. Just feels Brecel hasn't been able to impose himself on this match. We know how he can take control of matches. And a lot of that is credit to Hallworth. He hasn't let him do it. At other times, Brecel has been in, just hasn't really scored as heavily as he would like. So it's a good contest, this. That's very, very good. Cue ball on the top cushion. And does he have an angle here to immediately get into the bunch? Not off the brown, I don't think. What a split. He was just a bit nervous, as players always are, about a red going in, but he's okay. Typical Brecel shot. No guts, no glory. But this time it's worked out pretty good. Our team's judging 3-1 up against Rhiannon Evans at the interval. That's a first round match. There were a couple of matches in a pre-qualifying round. I won't go into that again, but there were extra players in the tournament, as it were. Well, is he on the red? If he's not, what is he on? There's one to the yellow pocket, possibly. That's the one he's taking. It's not the one he played on. And he's got the reds open. If he misses, he's leaving Hallworth in, potentially. But in it goes. Good recovery again from Brecel. It's all a little bit of a high wire act, though, this afternoon. Michael Holt's levelled up 2-2 with Leon Crowley at their interval. 94 break from Holt in frame 4. Hang on. Good grief. Well, as I say, it's a high wire act. That's, I guess, what makes Brecel such a compelling player to watch. It's a little bit heart in mouth at times. What I like about him, though, is he's always trying to make something happen. He's not one of these players who kind of settles back and just waits for a chance. We saw that in the last frame, the 5-ball plan, albeit, of course, didn't pot the next ball. So, looking now to get back amongst the reds at the black end of the table. Again, it's not ideal because he's wrong side of the blue. Well, looks like he has landed on the red to left corner. Oh, he's not potted it though, so the break ends at 43. There's still plenty on. There's 7 reds on here. This could be a big moment in this match. Hallworth maybe starting to resign himself to the frame slipping by, but let's see. He made 85, remember, in the last frame. Now then, can he bring this red off the cushion here? I said earlier that can happen. He felt it was worth the risk there because he would be on the red nearer the pocket. But the red, he got the double kiss, so the red has kind of stayed where it is. So still the problem, of course, of that red on the cushion, and there's the red just off the bulk cushion as well to deal with. Well, he doesn't have an angle on the black to free the red. Would he fancy attempting the double? Well, he seems to have played for the double, but there'll be a safety element to this as well with the cue ball. Oh, it's caught the knuckle. It's not too bad, I guess. But anyway, the frame in the balance, 4 points in it. Hallworth hoping for a 3-1 interval lead. Brecel Looking to peg him back for 2-2. Of course, he will need the other awkward red now, Brecel. Well, that's where he played the cue ball too. This is a good effort. Caught it nicely. Yeah, I mean, he holds his hand up. The red, I guess, could have finished anywhere. Does Brecel take the red on? It's tough, but he takes on a lot of tough balls. Again, a little fortunate where the cue ball finished, but it was a full-blooded attempt. Staying positive, got a good cue ball, not deliberately, but be happy enough where it's finished. Well, it's given Hallworth something to think about here. The two reds, of course, both in open play. So it's a frame-winning chance if he leaves one. He's played this well. If he gets cover, this is a really good shot. He was in a bit of trouble there, but now he's got Brecel in more. Well, he's practiced a lot with Mark Selby, Stephen Hallworth, and maybe that's one he's picked up from Selby. Very good hit. And he was looking to glance it. That's what he did. That's a good little exchange, this, in this pre-interval frame. Again, good length on the safety from Hallworth, getting just about to the top cushion. I mean, the red is cuttable to the yellow pocket, but not an easy pot by any means. That's assuming he can even see the potting angle. Daniel Wells 4-1 up now on Sahil Nahir, so just a frame away from round 3 of qualifying. Again, I mean, that could have finished worse. Yeah, if Wells does win, he'll play Stuart Bingham. Of course, some of the players today, they know if they win, they'll be off to Wuhan because they'll be playing a top 16 player. Oliver Lyons has won a frame. He's 2-1 down to Jordan Brown. Scott Donaldson as well on the scoreboard, 2-1 down to Wang Jingbo. But we're watching here quite a tense standoff in this 4th frame. It's been a while since the last pot. Can Hallworth see enough of the red to take it on? So having a look at the potting angle, which suggests he can. Now the other red's on the cushion. That's a slight complication, but he can put his all into trying to pot this. Well, has he been fortunate here? Oh, I think so. Yeah, he holds his hand up. Covered the red with the blue. Red near the pocket. All these little bits of running are things you can't sort of factor in before the match starts. You can look at the strengths and weaknesses, of course, of the players and where they, they may be stronger and what they might bring to the game. But exchanges like this, you just can't really legislate for who gets the running at the right time. And there it was Hallworth. Brecel's had some as well. Minutes this frame now, not a long frame by any means, but this exchange has been quite drawn out, but interesting. Brown safe now. Let's see what difference that makes later on. The yellow in a safer spot as well, so the frame becoming a little harder to win, both here. Where's this white? He's concerned. Okay. So as I say, yellow and brown, not great.
6.
It's Hallworth nudges in front in this frame.
Seven.
So he's got himself 8 points in front. Of course, they'll both need that brown. So I'm not sure there's much angle here to get on the green, even if he pots the yellow. So I may feel it's not worth taking it on. Yeah, couldn't really get on the green. Oh, this looks good. Ah, great shot. But still, the issue will remain the brown on the cushion. Even if this snooker yields an opening. Good effort, this. Oh, so close. Be going back. Marcel Eckhart, the referee in charge. Just slipped by it this time. Which means the points are level. It was closer the first time. Very close, actually. I guess the danger is that, a few more misses and could be in a position where Brecel won't need the brown. We're nowhere near that yet, but he's missed 3 times. Yeah, well done. So not too much damage done. He gave away 12 points, but there's only 4 in the frame. Martin Bjuzin has gone 4-1 up on Rhian Evans. That's a round 1 match, as is the match between Mahmoud El Haridi and Yu Yishen, and that's 4-1 to El Haridi. Jackson Page at the interval, 3-1 up on Gong Chengzi. 61 break from Page, the highest of the match there in frame 4. Michael Holt, 3-2 over Leon Crowley. Daniel Wells in the balls to beat Sahil Nair 5-1. We're not even at the interval on this table. Pat Wells has won, 5-1. Well, a bit wasteful, I guess, giving away those 4 points. Daniel Wells plays Stuart Bingham in the final qualifying round. Hard match snooker here, isn't it, between these two now? Hallworth snookered again. Now, is this a free ball? Not quite. But it'll be going back. Well, he has left the yellow, and of course yellow and green for Brecel puts him 17 in front, so we'll still need the brown, which was always sort of looming in this frame once it went on that left-hand side cushion as being pivotal to who won it. Again, trying to get him here. Not quite this time. It was a great effort from Brecel. So double kiss. Just feels like since that initial snooker on the yellow, which was close to this corner pocket, Brecel's just taken control. Now then, well, that's the brown out. Not as intended. And in one shot, he's opened everything up here. And Stephen Hallworth, out of nowhere, I was just saying Brecel looks like he'd taken control. Out of nowhere, Hallworth has his chance to lead 3-1. He needs the 5 remaining balls to do so. Amazing how one shot can just suddenly transform a frame. Bit of a spring in the old Hallworth step here. Now must leave himself high on the blue, of course, to get back for pink. Well, he's going the other way. He's going to go up and down. So cue ball further to travel, more chance of this going wrong. Looks pretty good though. Little bounce off the cushion. Well, didn't really bounce. So he's not quite out of the woods yet. He needs pink and black. Drop the pink in, which he's done. So the brown was on the cushion, but Brecel inadvertently brought it off, left the chance Stephen Hallworth with the black for a 3-1 interval lead. What a steal. A dramatic frame, and it goes to Stephen Hallworth. So he leads the 2023 world champion Luca Brecel of Belgium 3-1 at the interval. The players and myself will be back in 15 minutes' time. So the players are back after the interval, and we're ready for potential 5 more frames. Stephen Hallworth holding the advantage in this match, leading Luca Brecel. Won a very dramatic 4th frame there. But Hallworth eventually won with a green to black clearance. This is the second qualifying round of Snooker's Wuhan Open. We're live at the Mattioli Arena in Leicester. Yeah, really good pot from Hallworth. He must be feeling good after the way he won that 4th frame, which, as I say, was well and truly in the balance until Brecel, who seemed to have I mean, literally, I said just before the shot he played, he seems to have taken control of the frame. He had Hallworth in all sorts of snookers and was getting penalty points. But he took that green and, of course, didn't get it, knocked the brown into play and left the lot on. And Hallworth made a steely little clearance, and that was 3-1.
Six. Stephen Hallworth. 6.
Well, obviously trying to bring other reds into play, which he did, but he didn't pop the red he was going for. While we await the interval, Ryan Evans won the 6th frame to pull back to 4-2 against Artem Zhuzhin, but he is 56-0 up on reds and blacks, actually, in frame 7. That's a first qualifying round match. This match is the second round. Just feels like Brecel hasn't really sort of flown like we know he can. His highest broke only 44. You feel he's going to have to improve on that. Try and really up his scoring in this match, because the sort of scrapping about doesn't really favour him. I know he can be very fluent on his day and devastating. That will finally win against Mark Selby, made 5 centuries. Jordan Brown now 3-1 up on Oliver Lyons. Michael Holt 4-2 over Leon Crowley. Gong Zhengzi has pulled one back against Jackson Page. 3-2 now to Page. Now it's left this awkward on the top of the green. And, well, it's just dropped. It was on the walk there. He obviously thought that was in. Our team Zhuzhen still on reds and blacks. He's on 73 now, so about to win the match, but could he possibly become the first player from Latvia to make a maximum in tournament play? I mean, there's a long way to go yet, but the chance is possibly there. Michael Holt, of course, had one in China Open qualifying. Oh, meanwhile, the red stays on the lip, and that's kind of the story of the day a little bit for Luca Brecel. Just when the chance has come, he can't quite convert it. Yeah, getting a bit hot in there. It was a tough frame to lose that fourth one. Hallworth taking the opportunity immediately to open reds up. Zhuzhen now up to 88, still on blacks, so that's 11 reds, 11 blacks. That would be an extraordinary story if he could make a maximum. Third season professional from Latvia. Would be such a big moment for him, wouldn't it? I'll let you know. But meanwhile, Hallworth just sensing a big chance now in this match. He'll see Brecel, he's not quite firing on all cylinders. Well, Zhuzhen has taken a blue. I haven't got the match, I can't see the table, but he's clearly been forced into playing the blue there. He wouldn't have done so by choice, I'm sure. So it's not going to be a 1-4-7, but he has won 5-2. Hallworth, meanwhile, has lost his way, so end of break. Well, some of these shots are starting to look a little bit wild. Brecel trying to make something happen, but it isn't happening. Of course, he was in earlier, left that red short. Again, there could have easily left something on. He's got away with it. Hallworth will be picking up on all of this, sensing that his opponent maybe is getting a little frustrated with how things are going. He won't be happy to see that red go near the pocket, but he's just come away from the pocket and clung to the cushion. Oh, superb from Hallworth. Really gave that pot everything. Our team Zhuzhen, he needs pink and black for a 145. That would be his highest break as a professional. And the highest break so far, and he has potted them. So 145, what a wonderful break. For a long time, he was on a 147. On 89, he took a blue. But 5-2, and what a way to win. His highest break as a pro, and a great target for the high break in this tournament. So, still not plain sailing this. These last few reds, slightly awkward position, certainly a couple on the cushions. But what I like about Hallworth here, A, the initial red was full commitment, but also he's not taking much time, is he? He looks confident. I suppose after that fourth frame, you can understand that. Playing a lot better than he did yesterday, albeit he won 5-0, but it was a very scrappy match with Panchayat Chenoy. But this is a sort of different challenge against a player who's favourite to beat him, but he's not playing his best snooker, Luca Brecel.
30.
So he will need the two reds here. Just looking to drop this in for the black and then keep the cue ball reasonably close to the last one along the cushion. And the good news is, in that scenario, he wouldn't need a colour off the red, so he could commit to the pot. But anyway, he's got to pot this one first. He's got all the length on the cue, the extensions. Well, he can actually get the extended rest, I think. To drop this red in. He was a long way from the cue ball there, and he had all the long stuff out. So disappointing, but he's got a 24-point lead. Caught that safety a little thick, so he was in control of the frame just a moment or two ago, about a minute ago. But can Brecel get back in here with this red? Yes, he can. And needs an angle to get from blue to red. He doesn't want to be dead straight here. Well, he's done his best to get close. He's sort of trying to make the cue ball stop by gesturing to it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. It's a snooker, and red close to the black just adds a little degree of jeopardy to the shot. Also, Lockhart just coming down to position himself close to red and black if there is to be, a close contact. Here we go then. Yeah, it was a good hit. And Hallworth, 18 in front, won't mind seeing pink and black on opposite cushions because, of course, the likelihood is Brecel will need one, if not both of them. Not great, but these aren't easy. You have to cue so straight here to drop these in the middles. But it is a chance. 18 in front. Yeah, as I say, not easy. Still be disappointed, though. There's another opportunity to press on in this match. So let's see what difference it makes where pink and black are now. Bottom line is he's going to need them. Well, he needed that first. This is turning into a bit of a nightmare for Brecel. He doesn't seem able to be as clinical as he would like. He's relied a lot on safety, but when the chances have come, he's just not been taking them. And Hallworth, 17 in front. He needs yellow, green and brown here for a 4-1 lead. The brown's unmissable where it is. Don't think he'll miss the yellow, so it's really just about getting on this green. And potting it, of course. So, Stephen Hallworth. It's going to be a frame from round 3 of this Wuhan Open, a meeting with Zhang Yanda. Brecel again had chances in that frame, but another one slips by. Brecel's highest break still only 44. And I mean, he needs 2 snookers, but look where the pink and black are. He's just not going to get them from here. Blue's in anyway. So Stephen Hallworth, who could easily have been held to 2-2 at the interval, of course, won a dramatic frame on the black to lead 3-1, and now he leads 4-1. So to recap our winners in this session, Daniel Wells, now that's it, a round 2 match, so he will play Stuart Bingham in the last 64 on Thursday. round one, Artem Zhizn with that wonderful 145 total clearance. He's actually now into round two. He'll play David Lilly. Also in round one, Mohamed El Haridi's 4-3 up on Zhu Yishen. It's 3-1 Jordan Brown over Oliver Lyons, but he needs a couple of snookers there, Brown, so looking like 3-2 in frame 5. 3-1 Wang Jingbo over Scott Donaldson. Michael Holt 4-2 over Leon Crowley. Jackson Page 3-2 over Gong Chengzi, but needs snookers, otherwise 3-3. Tonight at 7 on the main table, so 2 hours from now, local time, it'll be Ryan Day against Mitchell Mann. We've got the likes of Aaron Hill, Matt Sell, Ricky Walden, Ben Wollaston, Chang Bing Yu. In fact, sorry, Chang's in the morning, but those are the players tonight. And we'll bring you all the action here on WST Play, as I say, 7 o'clock UK time. But Luca Brecel in real trouble here, 4-1 down. Well, Brecel opening everything up, but he needs cover. He's covered the red down the left-hand channel. Aggressive safety. It's all worth taking this bread on. Big shot. Kind of had to get it, didn't he? Felt forced into it, maybe. So, Luca Brecel, as I say, has not scored at all today. No half centuries, but this is a massive chance to do so. And really has to, I think, because if he breaks down here, he's almost certainly going to be leaving Hallworth in. So is this the moment the match starts to potentially turn back in his favour? One frame at a time, but you know, Luca Brecel in form, you would fancy hugely to win the frame here. Well, he didn't want to catch the yellow. Still on the red to left corner, but slightly hampered, much further away than intended. So looking at one on the right-hand side. Either way, this is not where he wanted the cue ball to be today. This is why he's not been making breaks. He just hasn't had the white under control. And now he's broken down. And what a great starting position he was in to make just 17. He's very disappointing. Hallworth looking at the red on the left-hand side. And if he can pot it and get on a colour, then again, it's such an open table after Brecel opened the reds up. In the frame, he needs to win the match, of course. Surely going to be on something. So, first chance for Hallworth then to get it won. Let's see how far he gets here. He seems to have really grown in confidence since winning that fourth frame. Somewhat against the odds, actually. He was just under it in that frame, but he pounced when Brecel opened the brown up off the side cushion.
Six.
Stephen Hallworth's actually due to become a father for the first time around about that week of Wuhan, so it'll be quite an interesting time, one way or another. Were he to qualify, of course, got to win this match and then another one against Shangander for that to happen. Well, the black's gone up on the yellow spot, but pink and blue still nicely available. Michael Holt has beaten Leon Crowley 5-2. And that victory for Holt means he's on the plane to Wuhan because he's going to play Mark Allen in the last 64 because the top 16 held over to China. So Michael Holt will be Wuhan bound in August. Well, Jackson Page, I'm sure he needed a snooker in that sixth frame, but he's got it and he's won it against Gong Chengzi, so 4-2 to Page. That's Hallworth just tries to keep things straightforward here. That's really the key to it, isn't it? Just try and leave yourself as nice on the next ball as you can. Really could not ask for a better chance now to get this one. So just needs to try and keep a little bit of self-control here. Would be a huge win from actually, you know, to beat any world champion, particularly a recent one, is clearly a great scalp. Regardless of Brecel's sort of troubles last couple of years. Remember, they've only played twice before. Brecel's won them both. The last was a whitewash, so it would be a sweet victory, and I think Hallworth as well will be happy. He's played better than yesterday. him some confidence going forward to play Zhang Anda on Thursday. But got to get over the line first. 32 in front with this ping. Play for choice of 2 reds here. And he will need those 2 reds for victory.
$55.
38 to the good, 59 on, as I say, these 2 reds. Should win it, but he misses that one just as the match was basically done. Another twist, not over yet. And now you've got visions of suddenly ending up 4 each and Hallworth having to sort of get over what's happened. Of course, we're a long way from that. It's not 4-2 yet, but in his own mind, I'm sure Hallworth will feel the match should have been over there. Immediately, Brecel has left himself hampered on the pink, though. Yeah, and it made a big difference. Well, that sums up the afternoon. He's just not been clinical, Brecel. His cue ball hasn't been under the sort of control he would like. He's not been making the breaks he would like. And once again, Hallworth on the verge of victory. He needs red and pink here. Well, he was handed this chance, but that's not his problem. And the bottom line is he'll have played 2 matches in this Wuhan Open and only lost 1 frame. One snooker needed. He's going to play the double here. And if this goes in, he's surely through. Nicely done. And in fact, Luca Brecel comes forward to concede. A disappointing afternoon for the Belgian, but delight for Stephen Hallworth. That's a big win for him over the 2023 world champion. He beats Luca Brecel 5-1 and advances to the last 64 of the Wuhan Open. He'll play Zhang Anda next. So that concludes our coverage for now. We'll be back at 7 o'clock for Ryan Day against Mitchell Mann. I'll see you then.